In the show, it was to bring the North under his control. By marrying Sansa to Ramsey Bolton, Baelish gets to do several things at once. It re-establishes the familial alliance between the North and the Vale, which had been severed by the death of Robb and Catelyn Stark. Once Sansa is married to the Bolton heir, the formal ruler of the Vale, her cousin Robin Arryn, has a moral obligation to support her, not necessarily the Boltons, but her, as well as an interest in the affairs of the North that would be seen as legitimate to his vassals. This, in turn, gives Baelish, as the de facto ruler of the Vale, the practical means of influencing northern affairs, and opens the possibility of intervening in the North. It provides him a plausible case for royal support against House Bolton, which would be necessary to legitimate direct intervention in the North, the elimination of House Bolton, and his eventual overlordship of the North. Hey guys, welcome to my channel. Please don't forget to like and subscribe and also click on the notification bell to remain updated. After all, Sansa is a fugitive in the eyes of the Lannisters, and her marriage to Ramsey is effectively an act of rebellion. Intervention in the North to displace the Boltons and capture Sansa would not be naked aggression in the eyes of vassal lords, but could be portrayed as the legitimate suppression of rebellion, and the execution of justice. More broadly, it severs the alliance between the Boltons and the Lannisters, and complicates the Riverlands' relationship to both, as Frey is married to Bolton, but remains dependent on Lannister support. This effectively dissolves a major power block in Westeros, and weakens the strategic position of all parties concerned while strengthening his. In one fell swoop, Littlefinger gets to lay the foundations for a significant power grab and undermine the power of his enemies, all without any of them realizing it. That Littlefinger would be so calculating and callous is well established on the show, and explicitly so by none other than Varys. Of course he knew who Ramsey was, and what he was about, and of course he knew what was likely in store for Sansa. So, why proceed with a plan that would entail the suffering of a woman he clearly has designs on? Ramsey was the only Bolton available for marriage, so he was the only option to work with. The potential benefits to him outweighed the costs to someone who wasn't him. Ramsey's depredations could only facilitate his aims, as described above. Sansa was too important to the Boltons to kill, so Littlefinger would have little to fear on that score. An abused Sansa is useful to him because abusing a beloved Stark would do nothing to endear the Boltons to their vassals in the North, and their position was precarious at best. If it didn't outright provoke rebellion, it certainly could have undermined their support for House Bolton when the Vale moved against them. He was probably hoping to play the savior again, to persuade Sansa that he knew nothing of Ramsey's predilections, and moved to rescue her as soon as he could. If she was persuaded, perfect. He might even be able to leverage that into a marriage with her, and so into direct control of the North. If she was too damaged or demoralized to assert herself as a political voice, same difference. If not, as turned out to be the case, he'd still be the de facto power in the North, and would able to make the case to the northern lords that he had rescued a Stark. Out of show, it allowed the showrunners to streamline the number of narrative threads present in the book into something more manageable for the show. The scriptwriters should kinda take the blame, for they are too foolish to understand the novel. George Martin would never have made such mistake. Honestly speaking, I cannot bear such terrible adaptation. First, Baelish is too clever to take such action. For one thing, his control of the Vale is vulnerable, especially when faced with the challenges of several great Vale lords. In this case, how could he send Sansa to the Boltons before he can rally the Vale behind him, considering Sansa is his greatest leverage? For another, this whole thing does not make any sense. In the first place, Sansa is known as the only surviving child of Ned Stark, making her become Baelish's greatest asset if he ever wishes to control the North. And we all know, Baelish does have the ambition. So, how could he send Sansa to the Boltons? What's in it for him? In the second place, considering the situation, Baelish's best plan would be this: let the Boltons and Stannis slaughter each other. Then, Baelish can easily defeat the winning side, for the winning side must be exhausted then. Why would he send his greatest asset to his enemy? And later he comes to Sansa's rescue, why not save the trouble? Clearly, he can win the war without needing to send Sansa to his enemy. This doesn't make any sense. Thanks for watching, please don't forget to like this video and drop comments. And most importantly, don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell so you don't miss anything.